EmmyLou Loves is brought to you by Voo. Keep your evening skincare regime quick and simple with these must-have products from Voo. Surprising luxury, discover it at Woolies.
You know, I made no secret about feeling quite flat today. If you guys have been following me along on stories, you'll see that I just wasn't feeling it, you know. I just wasn't having one of those days. I'm bloated, I'm a bit grumpy, I'm kind of pissed off. And I started to talk to you guys about that, and I got just an influx of DMs with you all really getting the point that I was trying to make. And the point that I was trying to make was that some days are just going to be like that, right? Some days you are not going to feel it. Some days, I don't know, you're not going to have that positive mindset. But you know what you can have? You know what I did have? Is discipline. Discipline and consistency. And I know that sounds a little stringent, but by the end of the day, that discipline just getting me to the next chore and just to the next chore, and then all of a sudden here I am. I'm glammed up, I'm in a beautiful black suit, I got my hair and makeup done, I've got a gorgeous audience in front of me, I've got a beautiful guest waiting backstage for me. All of a sudden I'm here. And the only reason I got here was because of the discipline. Live from Melbourne, this is EmmyLou Loves.
1, 2, 3, listen.
Stop. No, bust a move, bust a move, bust a move, bust a move, bust a move. No, bust a move.
Welcome to EmmyLou Loves. My name is EmmyLou Maccarthy, and tonight's guest is someone with staying power. You may recognise her from numerous television appearances, from Good Morning Australia to The Real Housewives of Melbourne. She's also an incredibly successful businesswoman, the co-founder of the Big Group, and she has a new book out, Chyka Home. It's Chyka Keebaugh.
My name is Chyka. You may know me from The Real Housewives of Melbourne, but I'm also a businesswoman. I have the Big Group, the Design Depot, Capital Kitchen, and recently Chyka.com. I'm also the mother of 2 children, and I've got a few life mottos, but my favourite one is you can have everything you want in life, but not at the same time.
Please welcome Chyka Keebaugh. I'm so sorry. Wow. Are you going? Oh, it's so lovely to see you.
So good to see you too.
Oh, you know what? I had to practice your surname a couple of times. I was going over and over it again. Keebaugh, Keebaugh, Keebaugh.
It's a hard one, but I love it because most people, my first name is the hard one, and no one ever asks me how to pronounce that one. So I find it funny when you say Keebaugh, because that to me is the easiest one.
Yeah, no, I did find, and I got my assistant to ask you a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm like, just subtly ask her, then come in and see me. And then as soon as you walked in, I was like, how do you say it?
Yeah.
Now, you have been incredibly busy.
Yes, it's been a massive year this year. I can honestly say I'm really ready for it to be over.
And I'm not talking about I'm just talking about the last week. It's Spring Racing Carnival.
Yes.
And when you said that you could come on, you know, straight afterwards, I was like, really? You don't want to take a nap or anything?
Yeah. What's that? What does that mean?
So talk me through it. How many events did you go to last week?
Well, do you know, we actually did 80% of the birdcage last week, so it was a massive week for us at the business. I'm in the middle of shooting my second book, so I actually did run away for 2 days and didn't go to Derby and Cup because I'm just trying to do a lot of things at the moment. I felt I couldn't actually keep all my balls in the air, so I did do a little runaway to get myself organised. But it was a huge week, and that rain wasn't really our friend on Tuesday, so there was a lot of drama with that. But we got through it, and here we are the week after.
So for those of you, just say, you know, for those of you who don't know, you have the Big Group.
Yes.
And that takes care of catering as well as all the event styling.
So we have the Big Group, we have venues, so we have 4 different venues. Wow. Then we have the Design Depot, which is all our decorative hiring and all the bits and pieces that go with that. Yeah. And then we've got a creative department, which also then puts together the concepts, the invitations, the production and all that kind of thing. So there's a lot of people. We've got about 1,600 staff. So it's, it's busy.
And 2 kids.
And 2 kids. They don't live at home anymore. They live overseas.
And so when I get ready for an event, like even if I'm doing one of the kids' birthday parties, I find catering for it fine. But then I have to go upstairs and go get ready.
Yeah.
And I always find that the really difficult part. Is that the same for you? Even though obviously I know you're not actually cooking the food and
No,
and
but I
putting out
used
the
to.
place
Like
sets.
when we started our business, that's exactly what I was doing. I was doing all the cooking. Bruce was a really bad waiter. I used to do all the, sit at home and fold all the serviettes and tie all the ribbons on. And
Are you serious?
Absolutely. And when we had our kids, I used to get them to help me, and they used to come every weekend to all the marquees and put chair covers on and iron tablecloths. So yes, I totally know what you're talking about. And then my kids turned around and said they wanted McDonald's parties, and that shattered me. Because I was like, but what about
That's
a cowboy
always the
and
way,
Indian
though.
party?
That's always the way. And I mean, I think that's the thing. We don't see that side, just like I was talking about earlier on, we don't see that side, that discipline that gets you to here, where we see, Chyka, beautiful with the books and, with all these businesses and everything like that. But it's how many years of that hard work was
30.
there?
30 years. Bruce and I met each other at 20. He's just turned 50 and I turned 50 at the end of the year, and we've literally been doing it for 30 years. So, you know what? It's a really long time. And when people say to me, you're so lucky, and it's like, luck? My God, we have worked so hard. We worked 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. Yes, it's looking great on Instagram, but, we both still work really hard. And, we're both those kind of people who will never stop, but that's what you have to do to make a business work.
It's that consistency, isn't it?
It
Of just
is.
getting up every day when it doesn't look so pretty.
Correct.
And just going for it.
Do I want to get up at 5:30 in the morning and do my hair and makeup to do a photo shoot? No, I don't. But you have to do it. So at the end of the day, that's what you have to do.
Was there that point in time where you scaled up and it felt like there were so many balls in the air and you just had to make that kind of almost leap to where you are now?
Yes, and I'd say it's happening still for me right now, because I've kind of removed myself a little bit from the business, and I'm sort of concentrating on my own brand at the moment, and I'm saying yes to a lot of things because I feel like I need to see, where I'm going or where I fit. And so I do feel sometimes at the moment that I'm like, I can't do it all, but you just do.
And is that really about having good people around you to be able to step away
Absolutely.
like that? Does that take practice
the
as well?
hardest
Does that
thing.
take practice, actually knowing who the good people are? Have you had some epic fails, do you think, with
we've
that?
had some seriously epic fails, people
Really?
that we thought were going to be truly amazing, and that just didn't work out that way. But you do have to trust your gut instinct. And I think learning to delegate and ask people to take control does mean that you have to allow them to also make mistakes as well and be there to support them too. But it's hard. It's really hard. And, I'm a type A personality, just like you are. 'Cause
She saw
I've
me
just
backstage.
watched you. And it's really hard to let go and not have everything perfect all the time. But, as good as it can possibly be is usually amazing for most people.
So you trust your gut in when you're choosing the people, but then you've got to trust them.
Absolutely.
Back, and you get
look, I
rewarded.
like to think I surround myself with really good people who understand me, who I trust incredibly, and who are loyal. And I don't know, there's a lot of people out there who think they know what they want to do and want to be a part of it, but they're not necessarily there for the right reasons. So yes, being very aware of who you're working with is important.
That is incredibly fantastic advice. It's actually what I need.
Unfortunately,
to hear right now.
I did learn the hard way too, though.
Did you?
So,
I
but
bet.
that's life. You've got to have the ups and
Well,
downs.
you can't go 30 years in a business and not learn, not be
Exactly.
let down.
Yeah. We've got to have the letdowns to work out what the good things are. So, failure is important too, and learning from it is even more important.
Oh goodness, I can't wait to talk about this more. All right, after the break, we will have more Chyka. You're watching EmmyLou Loves.
There is so much I fit into my days as a speaker, TV presenter, and a mum. Hydrating my skin is one of my priorities. The key ingredient I look for is hyaluronic acid. It can hold over 1,000 times its weight in water. The VU range surprisingly means I can afford to have a dose twice daily. Discover it at Woolworths.
As the cold, blue Southern Ocean crosses onto the kelp-covered reef along Victoria's Great Ocean Road, we collect a drop or two to help us make our delicious South Salt sea salt flakes. I'm Frank McManus, and with my longtime colleague John Petroff, I started the Australian Flake Salt Company to craft pure, local salt using the mineral-rich seawater from the Great Ocean Road. If you want sea salt flakes with an incomparable depth of flavour for your home, restaurant or business, visit our website at southsalt.com.au and taste the difference.
With over 30 years of experience servicing the building industry, Brunswick Roofing Supplies has you covered. Whether you need metal roofing, custom flashings or some light fabrication, or require a qualified plumber to install your new metal roof. Come in and see the team at Brunswick Roofing Supplies. They've got the expertise to get any job done. Mention this ad and pay $8.50 for zinc Corrie roofing. Hands down the best prices in town. Call Brunswick Roofing Supplies on 9380 4292 or visit brsupplies.com.au today. Got your attention?
For the upcoming cod season, quality ATC reel and Wilson rod, only $2.99.
Best bait on the market, McLaughlin's IQF pilchards, 2 kilo bag, $10.
The Akuma Snapper Combo, I use one of these myself. Fantastic quality, fantastic rod for just $85, including reel. At Regal Marine, we support local lure manufacturers like James here from Ballista Lures.
Ballista, get the unfair advantage.
Caitlyn Jenner versus Justin Bieber.
He's going to stink the place up with comedy.
He has a little tick on his Twitter account, don't you?
I do, yes.
That makes you a celebrity.
Hashtag kiss that dad.
Hey. You are f***ing kidding me.
Now that is funny.
Do you want to be a part of my studio audience? Come join me and my weekly guest on EmmyLou Loves. Go to www.emmylouloves.com. Please welcome back the gorgeous Chyka. Oh, it's so nice to have you on my couch.
It's so good to be here.
I've got something really incredibly serious to ask you.
Ooh, okay.
Something that I am dying to know, and I'm a little obsessive, I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
That trip to Italy.
Oh, BK50.
I don't know if anybody has caught this on Instagram, but I was obsessed. And I'm known to not scroll Instagram. I push out a lot of content. I don't scroll.
Yep.
But when you and how long were you there? Yeah, how long were you there
Well,
for?
we were there for nearly 6 weeks.
And why were you there?
And it was Bruce's 50th. So we did the party over there for a week in Positano. And we decided that we wanted to do, we had 70 really close friends and we thought it would be just the best experience to all be away together. And honestly, it was like kids gone wild. We had the best time.
Did you say 70?
70 friends came across.
70 friends?
Yeah. And it was amazing. And honestly, you know, we are in hospitality, so we did spend a lot of time talking about it. And we'd seen this villa that we had fallen in love with, and we had looked at it for a client's wedding. And then Bruce said to me, don't you think, this was about 2 years before, he said, wouldn't it be amazing to have our friends here? And I said, oh God, it would be incredible. And then he kept going, and I knew he had a little bee on his bonnet, and that's what happened. And it was the best week ever.
So 70 people, did you all stay in the same villa, or do you just...
No, so we had one villa that we had 24,
Yep.
then everyone else sort of stayed around, and then we organised 4 different parties, and they were all completely different, and days in between for recovery, because we're all a little bit older than we were when we had our 40th. And it was just the best. To be away with your friends in another country is truly one of the greatest treats ever. And our kids were there too, so they both live in America.
Yes.
And to have them there as well was just so much fun.
So, you know, because I saw that the parties had themes, did
Yes.
they? And now, I don't know if this is my imagination, but did you have matching outfits, or...?
Bruce and I, or just...
Yeah, like, because I was like, I'm sure.
We didn't have matching outfits, but we certainly talked about what we were wearing so that we looked like we were a pair, like a couple. And we've been together for 30 years, so we sort of end up doing that anyway. It's kind of natural.
It's funny because I called my sister and I'm like, did they bring all the crockery over? Because they had...
We took a lot of stuff over.
Did you take a lot of stuff over?
We did. So we took over, you know, the tablecloths, and there were bits and pieces that we'd bought the year before and put in storage, and we'd done all the calligraphy and all the rest of it. So, but we do that for other people. Everyone looks at that as if it's the most extraordinary thing, but we do a lot of parties overseas, so we kind of know how it works.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was
I'm
fun.
Speechless with that one, because
did you see the dance? Did you see the flash mob?
Yes, I did.
So no one knew what to give him for his birthday.
Yeah, okay.
And so everyone, and he didn't want a present because he was so thrilled that everyone had made the effort to come across. So they organised a dance practice every second week, and as many people who could possibly come did come. And then the friends that were overseas or in Sydney, they then got sent the video, and everyone practiced. And then all of a sudden, the dance happened. He fell to his knees because he literally was blown away, and we were sensational. We got it right, and we'd all been practicing. We kept stuffing it up, and on that night, it all just aligned.
Well, I think that's the beauty of a flash mob, right? That's the whole point. Is it kind of just brings this community together.
And we did it at a hotel, which is our favourite hotel that we stay at every year, and all the waiters and everyone were coming out going, "This is unbelievable." I'm like, "Can you believe it?" Like, it was amazing.
Absolutely incredible. Now, you do have another book coming out. Are you allowed to tell us anything about
Yes,
that?
so the first book was all about the home.
Yes.
This is all about occasions. So it's basically everything to do, I've done 14 different topics, from Easter, Chinese New Year, I'm doing Ramadan, I'm doing Halloween, sort of trying to cover a whole variety of different events, and it's all going to have lots of little how-tos that you could take that Halloween party and turn it into a kid's birthday party, or you could turn the Thanksgiving, which is what I'm shooting tomorrow, party, and turn that into sort of like a girls' spring lunch. So it's going to have lots of really fun bits and pieces in it. So that will come out September next year.
I love that you're doing Ramadan and Thanksgiving. So therefore you do have that...
Rosh Hashanah and Chinese New Year. So I really wanted to make sure it was for everybody. And obviously there are things I've missed, but who knows, that could be the third book.
Yeah, exactly. And do you find that you have a really eclectic international audience to do that? Or do you find that this is going to introduce those amazing cultures to the Australian audience?
We have a big clientele of all kinds of different nationalities, and I have certainly been going to different people and asking them just for a bit of advice to make sure I'm doing everything correctly and not doing, you know, anything to upset anyone. But yes, obviously I'd love to expand it because I think it's fun learning about other cultures and, you know, being a part of, you know, showing people more about how things, what they're there for and sort of how you can celebrate it too.
I think that's incredibly exotic too, because I wouldn't know anything about Ramadan. So it's a nice way to kind of enter in, a bit of an entry level to, okay, and I mean, my mum is Vietnamese, so we have Chinese New Year, and, you know, a lot of people wouldn't know what...
Exactly, what the symbols are and
yeah,
everything
and we have a seemingly kind of a mild Australian type of Chinese New Year, if you could say.
Yep.
And I remember going to, you know, a Vietnamese house, like, and it was a full Chinese New Year. They clean for days, they get it ready.
I love that part of it.
And I was just, and the food, and then the packets of money were coming. I'm like, my mum's been ripping me off. Like,
Did you get a new outfit at least?
Yeah, well, yeah, no, but they were all in the Owl Eyes, and I'd rocked up in a cheetah mini with a pink bodysuit because they said grab a new outfit, and so I had a pair of beautiful platforms. I mean, it was in the 90s, so I was just, you know, it went.
I'm glad you've explained that look to us so we all understand.
But everybody was in head to toe Owl Eyes, and I had taken it as, you know, and I remember I came with a jar and I'd filled it with dry fruit because I just wasn't, I was like, what do I bring? I know it was really, and they're like,
glad
you call yourself Vietnamese? Yeah. And when does this book come out?
That comes out in September next year. So literally I will finish that by middle of Jan. I've already finished the writing part of it, so it's just getting the photography done.
How long have you been working? How long does it take to actually like go from a book from, you know, when you first had that idea?
Well, so my book last year, the one that came out in April this year, that was a year because that was the seasons. This one's turned around a lot quicker. So I think probably maybe 6 months, if that. So yeah, it's been busy, very busy, but fun, and I've really loved it. It's something I've always wanted to do. I've already worked out my next book, so.
Really? What, your third one?
Yeah, absolutely.
I bet you can't tell us that one yet.
Well, I haven't told the publisher yet, but I'll tell them that later.
Oh, after the break, we get our social connection on with the latest events going on around the country and more from the gorgeous Chyka Keebaugh. You're watching EmmyLou Loves.
Vu's hydrating sheet mask is infused with witch hazel and aloe vera extract that nourishes my skin. The best part though, you can buy them from Woolies. Surprising luxury. Discover it at Woolies.
Explore magnificent coastal Tasmania with Tasmanian Off-Road Adventures 4-wheel drive tag-along tours. We tackle all the iconic West Coast tracks, so come along for a ride. Head to tasoffroadadventures.com.au for the ultimate Aussie family adventure.
Vic Properties are the country property experts with a large selection of bush and cleared properties to choose from. Land from just $39,500. Call Vic Properties today on 9840 8777.
Nice deal. Get back. What's wrong with you?
Who's that?
It's nobody.
It can be difficult to recognise mental health problems in young people. The first signs might be that they don't seem quite themselves.
Where were you last night?
Oh, give it a rest, Mom. I was just out with my friends.
Headspace is the national organisation dedicated to supporting young people aged 12 to 25. If your child doesn't seem like themselves, Headspace can help.
Programming on C31 is regulated by a code of practice which stipulates requirements of program content, classification and sponsorship. If you see something which you think is in breach of the code, you can submit a written complaint to this station. If you're unhappy with the response, you can then refer the complaint to the Australian Communications and Media Authority. You can obtain a copy of the code from our website, c31.org.au, or call us on 9660 3131 during business hours.
Welcome back to EmmyLou Loves. The Social Connection girls, Beck and Cara, are live on the EmmyLou Loves Facebook live stream right now. And when they're not fending off the trolls, they're putting together a list of the best events around the country. So let's see what they've got this week. So we have Dashins and Daiquiris. Oh, that sounds super cute. The Ascot lot, Ascot Vale, in Victoria on the 24th of November. So bring along your sausage dog and enjoy a frosé. Is that how you say that? Frosé?
Frosé, yeah.
Frosé, daiquiris and food trucks. Then we have the Melbourne Street Eats in Elwood Park on the 6th to the 9th of December from 4 p.m. till 10 p.m. each day. It's a child-friendly event and it goes for 4 days and it's basically all about food, so say no more. We've got the Gigs and Picnics Brisbane, City Botanic Gardens on the 24th of November and that goes from midday to 4 p.m. Well done, girls. Please give Chyka another round of applause for sticking around. Isn't she just beautiful? So a couple of things that I didn't know was that you were on Good Morning Australia.
I was. So I did it for 4 years. I had a segment with Bert and it was all about decorating and, you know, how to use a pumpkin 27,000 ways and it was all sort of, you know, to do with the season. So pretty much what my last book was all about was what I had done. But Channel 10 came to Bruce and I to do a cooking show and so we did. We did the audition for it, and anyone that knows Bruce knows he's quite outgoing, and I was very much behind the scenes, and I didn't really like talking. So we started with the tomatoes, chopping them up, and he became a robot, and I was like, babe, you're going to cut the tomatoes? Yes, I will cut the tomatoes up. Oh. And so we didn't get the show. And then they said to me, would you like to, you know, work with Bert? And I'm like, sure. So that's how it started. And I loved it. It was so much fun. And yeah, it was a really fun time to be on daytime television.
It really was, because back then, daytime television, I remember watching it. My mum watching
Morning
it.
show, it was incredible.
Yeah, and do you have any, you know, what was Bert like to work with? Was he as fun as what he is on camera?
Bert was really fun, naughty, very naughty.
Really? I could imagine he'd be very cheeky.
He was very cheeky, and but he's a really good person, and he was very genuine. And look, his team has stayed with him the whole way through. So to me, that says a lot when you have people that stay with you that long. And I remember my kids used to come on; it was the greatest treat because we'd always give them something, and they got to be on television, and they thought it was fantastic. So yeah, it was good.
And then we move on to reality TV, Real Housewives of Melbourne.
Yes,
what was like? No, not at all. I thought it was brilliant, and everyone always, we love Chyka. Like, what was life like afterwards, though?
So I made a really conscious decision when they came to me and asked me if I would go on the show. I thought, why not? In my opinion, in life, you have to walk through doors, and if you want to change things up and have a go at anything, you've got to go for it. If you don't like it, then you can walk away. But I didn't want to ever think I hadn't tried, and I didn't think at 45 I was going to have another career, and it really blew my mind that the show took off as well as it did, particularly in America, actually. And look, at the end of the day, after 3 years, I got to a point for me where I decided that I just didn't need or want that kind of negativity. I kind of am someone who really supports women and likes to think good things about people, and I didn't want to be a part of that anymore. But that's not why I left. I always had chosen 3 years as my number, and it was a huge time. Like, out of my year, I spent so much time either doing PR, filming, or starting a new season, and I just felt like I wasn't doing the things that I really wanted to do anymore.
Well, that was actually one of my questions. Was it a strain on the business? Because you were running the business at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you kind of don't see that as such on the show.
Well, you're trying to balance it all and try and be a mother. And my kids were at an age too where I really wanted to make sure that they were being protected from trolls and people saying horrible things. And look, I was very lucky it wasn't so bad, but it was a decision that I didn't go in by myself and make the decision. I went to work and said to everyone, are you happy? I went to the kids and said, are you happy? So, I wanted to make sure that I was, looking after everybody's best interest, but I also knew that I would know how to behave as well.
Exactly. Oh no, you held yourself beautifully, and everybody just loved you on the
People used to say I
show.
was Switzerland. It used to drive me up the wall because I was like, you know what, I do have an opinion, but I just don't feel the need to get involved in everyone else's drama.
No, you're just so elegant about it. No, I didn't see that at all.
Thank you.
You never just biased. You were just, elegant. That's how I saw it. Now, your kids. Let's talk about your babies for a second.
My babies, I'm so proud
because they're
of.
overseas.
Yes, so my daughter, she's 24, she's now living in New York, and she works for an amazing company called Chandelier. So she's in digital media marketing and PR, and she's just got her full American visa, which is huge. So I don't see her coming home anytime soon. And my son is on a rugby scholarship at Northeastern in Boston for the next 3 years.
Really?
So at least they're close to each other, and I miss them so much. But honestly, we're on FaceTime all the time. So
a rugby scholarship. How does that come about? Was he over there for school anyway, or
he
did they scout him from
exchange
here?
last year,
Yeah.
and then he went and joined the rugby team because he played rugby at school here, and their team won the state champion, and he won the best and fairest. So they offered it to him to come back, and he was a bit like, I'm not sure. And I said, sweetheart, it's an incredible opportunity. Go. So every Sunday morning, I watch his Instagram stories. Oh my God, it's exactly what I imagine college life to be.
Really,
it's the kegs of beer. It's the girls on the shoulders. It's like everything, and he is having the time of his life.
Oh my! How old is he?
22.
So 22, they're in college, because I always find American schooling really fascinating. So they go to college at 22.
Well, he's sort of probably he will be there till he's 24, but he took a year off and did a gap year and travelled to America and did actually Camp America. So he's sort of...
The full American Camp America.
He's a full-on American kid now. He's loving it.
Do they have accents?
Actually, that's not true. He's so Australian, it's not even funny. And the honey badger, oh my God. I think he thinks he's a honey badger of Northeastern.
Really?
He goes, g'day, Mum, how are you? I'm like, sweetheart, seriously. He goes, I know that the girls love it.
Do they love it? I was going to say,
it.
what's it like? For your daughter, she's obviously in more of a corporate role.
Yes.
What is it actually like to be an Australian living in America? Do they get our humour?
Sometimes.
'Cause I'm worried about that when I go over. I'm headed over soon.
Well, Chessie's boss is Australian, and they have a really funny, we're a bit sarcastic with one another, and we sort of make fun. The people in her office don't necessarily understand their banter, and she says it's so funny because they look at her as if to say, how can you be so rude? Whereas he's funny, he's like, thinks it's hysterical.
Yeah.
So she loves it. She says the Americans are fantastic, and, they're open to new things, and in the industry she's in, it's exciting, and it's, there's lots going on. But yeah, she does say sometimes they just don't understand what's happening.
Exactly. I'm worried because I think I'm going to get into a lot.
That's why I want you to see her when you're there.
Yes, I know I'm going to. So Chyka's, hooking me up with all these, the best pizza, which is all I really want.
The best pizza you've ever had in your life.
And then I definitely want a New York bagel and salmon as well.
Yes, you do.
And I do want to know where to shop, and the comedy club apparently.
You need to go to the comedy club, and you need a good coffee because that's very hard to find.
Yes, I've heard that. And apparently there's a Melbourne-based coffee over there. Is that where you
There's
head
a couple
to?
Actually. There's a couple of Australian cafes over there now, and they all employ Australians to work behind and make the coffee.
God, I'm never coming home. See you later, kids.
They might join you.
Oh, next minute I'm a barista.
We'll do the show over there.
Working in Soho. And when are you headed over there to see the kids? Or are they coming back for Christmas?
Well, they're coming back because I'm having my 50th at the end of the year. So
what are you doing for your 50th? You going to Paris?
No, I'm doing a party.
Are you doing a party here?
Yes. I actually went and made my gin the other day for my party.
Tell me about that, because I have been looking into making a gin, and it is actually not as easy as what everybody thinks. And when I saw that post, I'm like, oh, she's made the gin.
I know, it was so exciting. So I did it with 4 Pillars, and I've done it with them as a collaboration, and I've sort of incorporated what I'm doing for the theme of my birthday and made a portrait of a lady, which is my theme. And it was so much fun to actually see how to, because it's basically vodka with juniper berry, and then you add all the other things to it. So it was, I think I have a real appreciation. I mean, I've always appreciated gin. I've got a new appreciation for it now.
Yeah, because done incorrectly, it can really
taste great.
It tastes like petrol.
Yeah.
It's awful. I know.
We don't want our gin to taste like petrol.
No, we don't want it to be elegant. Is it going to be clear, or is it a colour?
It's clear.
Oh, how exciting!
Yeah,
I cannot wait.
It's really
exciting.
sexy. It's got sort of a lot of pepper. It's got a peppery aftertaste with a tiny botanical hint through it, but it's got a bit of strength to it too.
You're incredible, and I can imagine that being like a Chyka cocktail. You're going to have the best. Oh, well, good luck. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Can we please thank the gorgeous Miss Chyka? Thank Thank you so much for joining us. Next week we have Angry Dad and Dylan and Mitch Orville to be... What's wrong with Angry Dad?
No, Angry Dad's fantastic.
To be part of our studio audience next week, please go to EmmyLouLoves.com. My name is EmmyLou Maccarthy. Good night.
Yay!
I thought I said something wrong.
All right, hit it. The monkey punch. No basta move.
EmmyLou Loves was brought to you by VOO. VOO Age Regenerate Anti-Aging Day and Night Creams is luxury skincare for every woman. Surprisingly affordable. Discover it at Woolies.